stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
So he'll be sliding in here at 7:30. And but this morning, okay, I tell everybody, I say, please reach out to me if you have something that you want to talk about. And Macyl, say it right, get up on that microphone, Macyl. You got good. Y'all see how I'm on this? And there you go. Yeah, there you go. Macyl Pentecost. I love it. We were talking about the first notice. You see it spelled I love it. What a great name. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do.
I'm saying, that's a good one.
And my mom would love that.
I love that. And then you brought your sister Diane Carter, who we were just kind of going revisiting that we actually knew each other back at the old Commerce Union Bank. That's correct. Yeah. I've been here since I grew up in Kentucky, but I've been a Tennessean since I was
Robertson County, it is time to join the Gig Club. Get Cumberland Connect. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, well, good news. You can join me in the Gig Club. And you can have a full gig for just $80. High-speed internet that will blow you away. If you're like me and you've had terrible internet service for far too long, well, it's time to get in the Gig Club. Now, what you do is you go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, cumberlandconnect.org, and it'll tell you if they're in your neighborhood already or when they're going to be in your neighborhood. You can also just call them and ask the question. 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. And if you're somebody in these areas, if you're a Cumberland Electric customer and you're having some financial struggles, well, because internet is now a utility, there's an affordable connectivity program providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. And they have packages starting at, you guessed it, $30 per month. Be a part of the Gig Club or just get into high-speed internet with Cumberland Connect. CumberlandConnect.org. Tell them you turned sent you. Barry and Rebecca Richards are with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you got a great
a
team
hard
that's going to
time
come to the
getting
table
involved
with
in
you,
that
whether you're
because I'm
buying
just too
or
busy.
selling, or maybe you want to be mentored, to be a realtor yourself. They would love to bring you in and make you part of the family, whether it be you're looking for a full-time change or just want to do something part-time. Now, if you're coming to the table as somebody that's selling, you've got to consider get one chance to make a first impression. Barry's going to make sure you make that first impression absolutely perfectly. He is a Zillow certified photographer, licensed and insured drone pilot. We can do the 360-degree virtual reality home tours. We'll get you up on realtor.com. People are going to see your property. They're going to want to take a second look. Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, which illustrates she studies all the time, staying up to date on what she needs to know to properly represent you. You can find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com, or just give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and always tell them U-Turn sent you.
So, of course, last week nobody.
You weren't making the church, though. We were there.
Yeah. Mark and Bill. That was pretty much the biggest part of the show last week. Well, and then but we had, it was a little bit of a difficult week. So tell me about this. So I tell you what, tell me first about the congregation and what you guys have got going on and then why we're doing the meal and all of that. And you kind of give me the parameters on it. So how would you unpack it for us?
Well, we're starting out. We have a new pastor. His name is Rick Roberts. Actually, he's a pastor. And we had a new youth leader. He and his wife are very DJ Toe and Emily, and their girls are with us. And Diane is our music director.
Oh,
she's a songbird.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's how we're starting. I'm the treasurer, but whatever. And we're just having it.
You're important.
Yeah.
You got to keep the bills paid.
That's right. I'm the one that gets all upset.
I worked in a church for a while.
Well, the funny thing, I love this story. The funny thing, when I was younger and used to go to church, there was a man that would get up when it was freezing cold, and he would always turn down the thermostat because, he didn't want the bill to be so high.
Of course.
So now I'm sitting in church, but I don't get up and turn down the thermostat. I look over at one of our gentlemen in church, and I'm like, turn down the thermostat.
Oh, how funny, because you're the one that's watching it.
I'm the beankeeper.
Oh my gosh,
yes. That's what I say. But we want the community. We want to be more involved in the community and outreach and let the people know that we are here. We're that little church that sits in the field. We're out there, and we have a lot of sweet people that are in our congregation, and we are a loving, giving church, and we just want to let our community know that if there's something, a need, we're here.
I love it. And you're sitting out in the field. So where are you? Are you literally located out in the field?
Basically, we are.
Okay.
We're at 431 North.
Okay.
So when you drive past there like you're going 70 miles per hour, you look to the left and we're sitting right there.
Just right off of Padfield Road.
Yes.
Okay.
So
431 White Creek Pike.
Be on the left-hand side and right beside us. So it almost makes us look like we're in that subdivision. There's a subdivision right beside us.
Okay.
That's why people pass it.
Yeah.
But
Sign out there.
but we're upgrading our sign also, so that's going to bring some more attention to exactly where the church is
There should be a
located.
sign posted out that's saying we are having a community.
Yes, we are supposed to, we're going to put something out there, but we are really wanting to reach out and become more community oriented and let people know that we care. And there are people out there that care, and and if there's anything anyone needs that we can help them with, we will be glad to reach out and help them.
Well, and that's one of the things that I talk about all the time. I just went through the sudden loss of my mother and have, walked through some difficult times in the last few years, and how people, my sister passed 3 years ago. So it's just, just all the things that you go through.
Yeah.
And if I did not have my spiritual family,
Yes.
I mean, I would get through it because I'm a person of faith. But oh my goodness, the way they take care of me and I'm one of those, I got it.
Yes.
But sometimes I don't. And when you have that community that knows you well enough to know when you don't got it and to come anyway, even when you tell them like, I'm fine,
Yeah.
don't you know? And so if you don't have that relationship, you just don't know what you're missing.
Well, it's easy to tell
do
people
not know
that
what
we're
you're missing.
fine.
Yes.
Yeah, it is because it's
Yes.
hard to ask.
That's a Southern thing too.
Yes,
It's
it
hard to
is.
ask for help.
Yes.
Yeah, especially women.
Yeah.
Men
Right.
just shut down. They just don't talk.
Exactly.
You know, they're just like,
That's
Yes.
true.
say, say.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, huh? What? But women, I'm fine. And you know, and so I love that that's your really your mission.
Yes.
Is that you're saying we want to be the hands and feet of Jesus in the community, and we want to make sure people know about us. So let's just have them to dinner. Let's just open up the doors and let's just have
Right.
that dinner. Bring them in
Yes.
from the street, right?
That's
what
right.
we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we want to
Yes.
do.
Sure.
That's what we want to do.
So when is this happening? I see it here, but tell us about when it's happening, what to expect. Do I need to bring any, like if somebody wanted to come, do I just walk in?
You just walk in.
Okay.
Just walk in. We're going to love on you. We're going to put you in line and say, take what you need.
Okay.
We're hoping for 300. That's what we're
Wow.
setting our
Okay.
goals at.
Yeah.
And if not, that's okay. If we have more, then we're going to be very excited for more.
Oh, yeah.
But we are. You're just going to walk in. We're going to have soups and sandwiches and drinks. I'm hoping there'll be a line, and you'll just take you a bowl, plate, spoon, napkin, whatever it is you need to take to eat. Crackers. Sandwich.
And just have good fellowship,
Yeah.
just like you said, the fellowship part, to get to know people and
Find a place to sit
yes,
and chit chat. Because let me just tell you, with Diane and I there, you'll probably be talking.
You think?
Yeah.
I love
we sort
it.
of chit chat, yeah.
We chit chat.
Well, you've got it to where, okay, so you've got it 4 to 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes.
Yes.
So is there any kind of a program, or is it just literally we're just opening up the doors and come
Yes,
on in?
yes.
We're not going to come in and it's like, okay, now's this, we're going to do this. I'm sure we'll offer a blessing, you know.
Yes, we will.
You know, those kinds of things. But, and that might even happen more than once, considering it's going for 3 hours for the new
Yes.
group, you know, that,
Yes.
but it's not going to be, okay, this is our singing time. It's
No,
going to be, we're just fellowshipping,
Right.
you know, because, you know, some people get a little, they
Oh, yeah.
they're like, well, I don't know if I want to come in and be it. My mother, bless her, they had, what is it? They used to do a thing called church eats church, church eat church. So they would show up because people they wanted to have a potluck. So they would have church, then they'd eat a meal, then they'd have church again. All in like one.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a lot.
Nice.
If
No,
you
we're
know,
not doing that.
long.
But yeah, but we just teased them so much about the name, but I get so tickled at it. But some people are like, well, I don't know if I can sit through a service that long. That's not what this is. This
No.
is just community fellowship, coming together. And you might meet some people that you think, I might like to go to church with them.
That's right.
And that's what it's about.
And we're going to have, if you want to take it to go, you can take it to go.
Well, good.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
So there's
We're
going to
offering-
be that choice. We've got some to-go bowls, plates, whatever it is you need.
I love it.
We just want to be out there and just know our community. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, and it's a good time for it. I mean, it's not going to be quite as cool
No,
this weekend
that's true.
as it has been, but it's just that time of the year,
Yeah.
So
and we are looking sometime in March, April that we are going to have a gospel singing.
Oh,
so and that's probably going to be a lot of preaching and singing
yeah.
and no eating.
Well, see, now I love that.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
let you know when
I
we do
love
that.
good
Yeah.
preaching.
Yeah.
I love good preaching. I have all kinds of preachers I follow. And so do y'all have an online presence? Can I check you out online?
Yes,
Okay.
we're actually on Facebook. We have a website. Website is our name, Faith Fellowship.
Faith Fellowship.
Faith-
just
Faith
Fellowship.
Bridge
Bridge Fellowship.
FaithBridgeFellowship.com.
.com.
Okay. FaithBridgeFellowship.com. And I'll have to tell you, their logo's just cool. Their
Thank
logo's
you.
so cool. Tell them how you got the logo.
Well, AI.
Oh.
Our pastor done that.
Yeah, listen. I mean,
Yeah.
this is something we have to deal with in the classroom.
Yes.
AI, because it is there. I remember when I had a little knucklehead kid, and he just wouldn't do anything. And he knows who he is. He knows right now. If he was listening to this, he knows I'm talking about him. I'm not going to call him out, but great kid, but just a little knucklehead.
Yeah.
And I gave him a task. I said, okay, you're going to do this. And I had him doing different things. And it was like a letter that he was supposed to write that was supposed to be a permission letter to go to something. And it was just an exercise of, expressing yourself. And he gave me this letter. I'm like, wow, you're a writer. This is fabulous. This little knucklehead. He had used AI. That's what he'd done.
Oh, nice.
And he had that little sheepish grin like, yeah, I'm really good. Right. But it was at the very first of it, because this was about really fall of last year when they started using it. The kids started showing up in the schools.
Yeah.
I was like,
They figure it out. They got help out there.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a tool. It's like all these tools we have in technology that you can really use. And I mean, it's a beautiful logo. It caught my eye as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh, I love that. But it's Faith Bridge Fellowship, and the location is 4610 Highway 431 North, Whites Creek Pike, Tom Austin Highway, all the names. And it is happening. Is it Tom
431
Austin?
North. No, it's
Greenboro. I mean, Springfield. I'm sorry. We're lost.
Doesn't it call? Okay, we have.
It's going like you're going to
go past Baggett's.
Okay.
and go straight up that way.
Oh, you're on that end.
Yes, we're on north of town. Yes,
Oh,
what
I
I
had you
call.
all in the back. Okay, I had you in the wrong place.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
north.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a little inn right next to that. I should
North.
know that.
That's okay.
You've been off for a little
As
bit.
long as I've been here, I've spent so much time working in Nashville. I can get you all around Nashville, but I still,
Yeah.
my husband, because he was a roofing contractor, knows all the little nooks and crannies around here, but I don't. But anyway, my apologies. Okay, so tell me again, it's up past Baggett's.
Yeah,
Okay.
past Baggett's on the left.
Okay, now I know exactly where you
Right.
are.
I always say once
I was
you.
trying to picture where you were, and I was like,
Right. I say you pass the red barn that's got like one of those quilt pictures on
Yes,
it.
yes.
That's on the right-hand side. And then on the left, you'll see this nice, beautiful white fence. And then we're the next road right past that.
Okay.
Hatfield Road. And you turn right on
will
that
be a
road.
church out in the field.
That's
Yes, it
exactly
is.
right.
You were telling me that, I'm like, okay, I was trying to picture it in my mind, but I was going on the other end of town. I just didn't
Yeah.
pay attention to the inn on that. 4610 Highway 431 North. And so that's just beautiful country out there. I
It
just
is. Yeah, it's
love going
really
out
pretty.
there. It is so pretty. It is
is.
just spectacular.
And our church is pretty. We have a nice church.
And we have a fellowship hall too, so it's really nice.
Very
We're
good.
blessed.
So tell me about your new preacher. Who is he?
Well, he's a school teacher.
Okay, you mentioned that. Where does he teach?
Hunter Slane. He
Oh,
teaches.
wow. Okay.
He's a
English.
English
Yeah.
and advanced English, my understanding.
Yes.
So he has a lot of, smart kids, and of course, and has to keep them in line. He says,
I hear you.
He says he gets there early in the morning to pray before he has class. So
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful to have teachers that pray over their kids?
yes, and his wife is an educator also. She
Okay.
teaches. She's actually retired, but she does go in and serve, in the schools as far as substituting or take over for a teacher that might be out on leave and stuff. Her name's Cynthia.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
they're both educators, so it's great.
Well, see, my husband and I both are teaching as well, so I feel them. It is just a wonderful blessing. I just love being in the school system. It's a lot of fun. But what else do you want to tell? What else do you have going on as far as what is the structure of your service? We're talking about the community soup and supper that is happening this Sunday night, 4 to 7. Just come and go. Come and enjoy some fellowship time and meet the new preacher. And how long has he been in? When did he start? He's new. How new?
He's been with
been
us
there
for about a
since
year.
Okay.
About a year.
But some people hadn't met him yet.
Right.
so-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And our youth pastor is new. We just got him and his wife, so we're real excited about that. And we're, trying to build our youth and get more young people involved
Sure.
in the community and in church. Just wanting to participate and do
How long
things.
have you had your youth minister?
We've only had him since October the 1st.
October 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is new for us,
Is
but
he
they're
local?
He lives up on the Kentucky side.
Okay.
Because, we're right there.
Oh,
on the
yeah, we're
line.
right there on the
So-
border.
So he
Yeah.
lives up that area.
and
but-
they're excited.
yeah, they're there.
Very
all the
excited.
time.
Awesome.
They're
That's
the-
wonderful.
They're ready to
enthusiasm.
serve. Yes.
There's just a connection you make through the youth. So many times people don't even realize the connections that you make sometimes through the kiddos that bring the families in.
Yes, that's
Right.
what we always say.
Yes.
It's enormous.
The kids
Yeah.
come, and then the family wants to be a part of it. And they're like, hey.
Well, and that's what our pastor, his testimony is that as a child, he was on a bus ministry, and that's how he started going to church, and that's how he got saved. And he, really believes in a bus ministry, and that's what his goal is also for the church in the future is to have a bus ministry, for those that can't get to church, but someone can go get them and bring them and stuff. So.
And that's a huge thing. And I've heard so many wonderful stories about those kinds of. I was listening to a preacher just the other day, had kind of the same story, and it's so interesting when you've got people. I was listening Matt Driscoll last night up at Epiphany, that is leadership for the Celebrate Recovery program there. He's one of our state reps. But his story is the same thing. He did not grow up in faith. He came to it late in life. And when people do that, there's a passion that because they're just like, oh, I did, I grew up in it. And for so many years, just kind of took it for granted. And so when you find those really impassioned people in ministry that they're like, I can't believe this. This is awesome. Yes. It's just, it's a wonderful thing. You just want to be a part of it. And you just love that enthusiasm.
Yes.
So, sounds like a wonderful congregation you guys have got going there.
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
We like to think so.
So what time are your services?
We have Sunday school at 10.
Okay.
And then we have worship service at 11.
Okay.
And we have a Wednesday night Bible study
6:30.
at 6:30.
Uh-huh.
Now, we do not have a Sunday night service.
Okay. But this is like a special thing. So you are doing something like
We
you'll do
are.
special stuff.
Yes.
We will do special stuff.
Yeah. Gonna have Super Bowl party?
We are
Oh, see?
not.
Oh, you're not. Well, but I'm saying a lot of congregations will get together for stuff like
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Because what better way to fellowship
Right.
and So, but you kind of reserve the opportunity to have the fellowship times on.
Yeah.
Right.
If I'm sure if the men in the church and women, if they want to do a Super Bowl party, they can.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just throwing that out. I just know we're
I've
coming up on it.
Yeah,
Yes,
a lot of
I'm
people
excited.
do.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But this is a great idea, guys, and I
Thank you.
hope you have great success. Let me go ahead and pause. I tell you what, and let me do one of my breaks here, and then we'll come back. We'll have still a few minutes to wrap up our time together. But we're talking with my friends. I know I've known Diane. I forgot for a while. Diane Carter. She used to be at the Commerce Union, and you're working where now? Did you tell me?
The Roberts County Register of Deeds office.
Okay,
Going on
okay.
28 years.
See,
So
I'm sure I've seen you in there too.
You
'cause
probably
I have
have.
questions. I come in and
Yes.
we're trying to get a passport. I was in the building. I wasn't in
Right.
your office. I was working on a passport. We're getting ready to go to Mexico for a mission trip. and
All right.
I'm making my husband go this time.
Yay.
So got to get the passports and all that. Don't wait on that stuff, y'all.
That's right.
It takes a minute. So get
Yes.
that stuff done. But so Diane Carter's here in Macyl. Macyl. I said it right.
Yeah.
Macyl Pentecost. I'll put her in the pulpit.
There
I
we
love
go.
it. That's a
Yeah.
great name.
Thank you.
But they're visiting with us, and we're talking all about what's happening at their congregation. This is at the Faith Bridge Fellowship, faithbridgefellowship.com if you want to check them out online. They're having a community soup and supper. It's happening on Sunday night, the 28th, this week, 4 to 7 p.m. It's just come and go. Come and just get to know them. And if you haven't met the new preacher, come and meet him as well and see what they've got going on at the little church out in the field. And I think that's a great idea. But we're going to pause for just a second and talk about my friends, Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. You know them well. I talk about them all the time because they're one of my full-time sponsors, been with me from the very beginning. We're going to be talking about Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival for too long because, man, we are just zipping right through the year. And they are sponsors of it. They're the ones who kind of pulled me into it. As a matter of fact, I've had the honor of hosting it every year, and they'll be talking about that. They're involved in the community in so many ways, and this is just one of those things they do is the big Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. But you'll see them. You'll see banners of where they're out sponsoring stuff and helping in the community. Barry does the videos and things for Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. So when we have those dinners, you'll see his work there. But he came out of a media marketing background, and he takes that talent to make sure that your property is seen in the best light. If you're having trouble selling property, what do your pictures look like? I mean, do you have video? Do you have a walkthrough tour? What about drone footage? He can do all of that for you, and he'll make sure it is seen in the absolute best light. Rebecca, been at this a long time, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. She works out of the White House office. She is one of the agents there. Barry is the broker in the downtown Springfield office. He has an office there on the square. They're cross-Planians. They've been there 28 years. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but buy and sell also in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. If you need to know more, of course you do. Give them a call. 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425 for Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Always please let them know that you heard us sent you. And we're going to continue our conversation with Diane Carter and Macyl Pentecost. We are talking about all things the community soup and supper that they're having at Faith Bridge Fellowship. If you want to find out more about their congregation, go to faithbridgefellowship.com. calm and come out and enjoy some fellowship and good food on Sunday night. Y'all gonna have some dessert too, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
I mean, you mentioned
right.
soup and sandwiches, but I'm like, there's got to be some sweets. This is the South.
What is food without a dessert?
Thank you.
You always have that little spot in
gotta
your
have that
stomach
finish
saved for dessert.
That's right.
Yes.
You can eat 3 plates of food, but yet you want a cupcake.
Yeah, I know. Just that. My husband and I, we're trying to. I don't know if y'all know Jamie Nixon, but he's somebody that's just transformed his life. He's lost like 80 pounds in the last 6 months, and he's just taken years off his life. And he was in here on Monday, and so my husband and I are like, yes, we're gonna do this, and so we're putting our lunches together for school today. And I'm like, I need something sweet. I need
just a little bite.
Just a little bite, and finish my meal. So, but yeah, I figured there'd be some desserts there.
Yes.
Maybe some cobblers and
that's
Oh yeah.
Her husband makes a great peach cobbler. So
Oh
yes.
yeah. How's he do?
But he has also been on this thing where he's lost 95 pounds.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, just decided to start eating healthy.
Yeah.
I've been on him. He doesn't listen to me, so I've been on him for about it. But then he just decided we clicked.
Yeah.
But he does still make a mean peach cobbler.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I eat pretty healthy, but I can still, I can whip up some really decadent things. But, and then, you want those treats. My
That's
goodness.
right.
The Lord gave us Sabbath. It's like he wants us. That's a gift to us. It's like rest, enjoy, party.
That's right.
He invited us to the parties all the time. So there's a place for that, and we should celebrate the life he's given us. And I think coming together like this and enjoying a good meal, it's just that table fellowship. Table fellowship is so important, and I'm talking in the mirror to me because I'm terrible at it. But we've got to get together and just spend time fellowshipping around the table. So give us the particulars again, and we'll wrap up because we got Ron Martin hanging out. He's getting ready to come in here and fill us in on the mayor and alderman meeting. So give them all the particulars, all about it.
Sunday afternoon, 4 to 7 p.m. Just bring yourself, bring your family, bring a friend. We're going to eat and fellowship and just praise the Lord.
And goal is 300 people.
That's our goal.
Get on in there.
We're going to need everybody in Springfield.
There you go. Nice. Population is pretty big.
It is.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
And again, if you've got somebody that you're just like, maybe they've, we've all been shut up. I didn't stop during the snow, but we have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So we just, we came and did radio. And so we were out and about, and places were just deserted. It was just fascinating.
Right.
So Friday morning, as things were starting to melt, we got done with radio and we had to run to Walmart to get something. And it was still, there was just hardly anybody there because it was still really icy out. But then I forgot something, had to go back late Friday, and it was like, it's like people had gotten out of prison and they were like glassy eyed and they were walking around and they're in their jammies.
That's right.
It was so funny. I just got so tickled because and I talked to so many people. They're like, I didn't leave my house. I was like, how do you do that? I would lose my mind. I'd have to walk out, man.
Yes.
I'm walking. I'm going somewhere.
That's
I
right.
Stay.
Out in the snow froze because I had to get out.
But it was so funny. It was. I've never watched the Walking Dead show, but I kind of figured that's what it looked like because it was just hysterical. It was funny, but anyway. So if you've been one of those people and you've been just boxed up and you're like, I need to be around people. Here you go.
That's right.
There's a chance.
Here we are, your opportunity, and we would really appreciate it. We're looking so forward to it.
Appreciate you too.
Yeah,
My
thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you so much.
Message me, and I tell everybody too, message me, and sometimes you may have to do it 2 or 3 times because if I see a message and I'm in the middle of something, I might forget to come back and check. So never hesitate to say, hey, did you see my message? Do it 3 or 4 times until I'm like, yes, I got you. And because I love talking about this stuff. I love knowing what's going on in the community and getting reacquainted with old friends and meeting new ones.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
Thank
come in
you.
anytime. And as you get on into the summer and stuff, you have other events, just come on back in here.
Sure.
And we'll
Awesome.
talk.
Thank you for
bring
the
your
invitation.
it'd be hard to bring your preacher if he's teaching.
Unless he's on a off school day.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So does he live local or is he up in Nashville?
He lives in White House.
House.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
He told me, he goes, I'd love to come, but I don't think my principal would appreciate me being off all week and saying, hey, I'm going to need 1 more day.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's the thing. I had some things too come up and I'm like, I just can't miss school. I'm just going to have to do it at another time. Cause I I hate to do that to the kiddos, but
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
I appreciate you guys so much, and good luck with your community soup and supper. And I'll hang on to this and keep
Yeah,
promoting
that'd be
it. Do you want me to hang
Sure.
on to that?
Yeah,
Sure.
I do.
Okay.
Please do.
And we'll talk about it as it comes up. And
Awesome. Thank
have
you.
great success. I'm gonna let them switch out and let Ryan make his way in as we talk about Cumberland Connect. Oh, what will we do without Cumberland Connect? If you're a Cumberland Electric customer, you are so blessed because you have access to high-speed internet. Almost everybody does. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there, and it's not going to be long until everybody's going to have access to high-speed internet. And ooh, it is a game changer, y'all. I've had it for about a year now, I guess, and still have to get my extender and things like that in my barns. The only reason we haven't done it is because we're not really using our barns to the purpose we're going to. So until we get to that point, we don't absolutely have to have it. But I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to do with our outbuildings with just a little extender. And I had the service department at Cumberland Connect's just phenomenal. I was just inquiring about some stuff. And so they came out and kind of walked me through what I needed to do and how this would work and how I could get the internet as good in my barns as what I have in my house for, I don't know, it was like $5-10 a month. It was all more that was going to cost me. It was crazy. And so just a great opportunity, great service department. I had a terrible experience before I went to Cumberland Connect with another company that I won't talk about, but I think y'all remember. But, trying to get some service when my modem was down. I knew my modem was down, and they danced around it for a week. I was without service, and finally got somebody, oh, you just need a new modem. I'm like, really? I told you that. But nonetheless, Cumberland Connect, wonderful company, great customer service. Not going to be long until everyone will have access via Cumberland Electric, and you are going to love it when you do. You can get a gig for just $80. If that sounds like a lot and you're struggling financially, well, because it's a utility, there's the Affordable Connectivity Program, and for qualifying households, you could get up to $30 credit to pay for broadband services, and they've got packages starting at just $30 per month. Go figure. It's wonderful. Cumberland Connect. Go to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org, or give them a call at 800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. Always let them know you turn 6. Ryan Martin's in the house. What is up?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good. It's wet outside, but it's not frozen outside. So I don't know that I've ever been happier to see some ice and snow go away and melt.
I know it. I love a little blast of winter. Mm-hmm. A little blast of winter, and I really enjoyed it for the first few days, and I was like, man, this stuff got to go. Well, for one thing, I'm 61 years old, and it is the older you get, the more you realize when you fall, you don't fall like you did when you were younger. And my husband and I both slipped. Mayor Vogel did. We had that conversation.
I did too. Yeah.
And it's just so hard. I'm just so tired of having to be so careful because I go pretty fast, and I get up slow because I got arthritis. It takes me a minute to get going, but once I get going, man, I move, and I just hate having to be so careful, and so I'm just so glad to walk across my parking lot, and I feel like my feet are going to fly out from under me.
Right.
But so yes, but now that water coming down, we need it. We need that rain. So let's just buckle up and enjoy it now.
That's right.
So did you get snowed in? Were you landlocked or?
No.
Yeah, see me either.
It was an interesting week. I want to give a shout out to our employees. We had folks called in. We were ready for it. We knew the forecast was coming, and our folks were there on Sunday trying to keep up with it when it was moving in, and
Right.
and then on Monday and trying to get one of the hardest things that happens, and it seems like it happens to us frequently, is we'll get a round, and then we'll get another round within a couple of days, and so it kind of cakes on top of each other and creates a layer, and so that creates a little bit of difficulty. But our public works department, our street crews, we did use about 60% of our salt inventory, so we'll have to replenish some of that. But the temperatures obviously were difficult because salt, the road salt loses its effectiveness. Yeah, when you get down to 4 degrees and wind chill of -8, let me turn that off. Sorry about that. But the salt loses its effectiveness down there, and so it's but our folks, that they stuck with it, and of course we had our public safety folks that were working the whole time, and a lot of people don't realize, they think of police and fire working, during an incident like that because they have to come to work anyway, but we also have the water treatment plant and out by you the wastewater treatment plant. Those are 24-hour operations that have to operate regardless if there's snow or ice on the ground, and so kudos to those folks for their dedication and making it in and working. And hopefully we had to shut down a couple of days because it wasn't safe to open. Obviously, we wanted people to stay off of the roads, and that's part of what goes into that decision. I was talking to Mayor Vogel about this. Part of what goes into that decision is, number one, are our parking lots and sidewalks safe to allow employees and customers to enter, right? Because we don't want injuries. We certainly don't want to put our employees at risk. We don't want to put customers at risk either. And secondly, if we're asking people to stay off the roads, why would we open and be part of the problem and invite people to come get a building permit or invite people to come pay their utility bill? Because it's difficult. What people don't realize in that situation is first responders have trouble getting to you.
Yes.
And that's, I mean, I was driving around, I guess it was yesterday, Monday, and there were still, tow trucks were finally able to get to vehicles, right? They just had to sit, where they slid off or whatever the case was, and tow trucks were finally able to get to some vehicles that they couldn't previously access. So first responders, there are no magical superpowers that allow them to get to you in an emergency when there's ice, on the roads. It's that ice affects them just as much as it affects you.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And, in my days as a traffic reporter, there were multiple times when things happened while everybody was at work, and we would start covering traffic, and people were just abandoning their cars, alongside the roads because they wouldn't move.
Yeah.
And when that ice, we think about what we could have had on Thursday if those temperatures,
Yes.
if that rain had come in a little bit later, we could have had ice coated, we could have had trees down.
That's
and,
right.
that we could have had an ice event, and it was close.
It
was just a degree or two off from us having an ice event that day. We were very blessed. We got a little bit of a glaze, and that's what slicked everybody. Well, I think we had more people sliding off the roads that afternoon and Friday morning. Well, was it when did that
Friday morning. It was Thursday evening, and Friday morning was worse travel wise.
Yeah.
The snow, especially for those with 4-wheel drive, you can get a little traction in the snow, right? And so that's one of the things that we were concerned about is Monday evening talking to the public works director, Clayton Moore, who I'll give him a shout out. They did a great job this past week. We were scraping, but we were also almost making it too slick, right? Where we were plowing and trying to scrape with some of the stuff that wouldn't come up. And so, that was one of the concerns that factored into that. We don't want to make it more dangerous,
Sure.
And so but they ended up doing a great job getting city streets cleared for the most part. And but it's that glazed Friday morning actually made travel more treacherous than it had been all week.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And I keep saying that I went to Walmart on Friday. See, I've got my days all mixed up. It was actually Monday as the thaw started, and I had gone into Walmart that morning as soon as I got off the radio, and it was still pretty desolate. I'd go in, there was nobody there. And I've told this several times because it was just so funny to me. Well, I ended up having to go back in the evening because I'd forgotten something. And the difference, there was just people everywhere because it had started thawing.
Right.
And it looked like the Walking Dead had come out of their hole. They were all just like glassy eyed, like, "You're okay. It's good to see you." It was just hysterical. I got so tickled. And, but it was just, there were so many people that did not leave their home because they couldn't. They didn't have anything that would travel on this stuff. And they literally, they just couldn't get out. And a lot older people were afraid, like me, they're going to fall and hurt themselves. And so it has been quite, we've had, my goodness, between the tornado and the snowmageddon, and I've got this feeling, brother, we're gonna have another snowmageddon before the winter's over. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's just something in my spirit saying, we're not done, y'all.
Well, I like you a lot, but I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too, but the reason why we have not, and this is something my friend Matt Driscoll mentioned last night when we were at CR, he said, I don't think it's been like 10 years since we've had something like that stuck around. I thought, yep, because it was when it was my last year in Dallas working at the Blaze, and my husband got snowed in up here, and I was like, I wish I could be there. We all snowed in. That'd be fun. That kind of stuff. And they had a big event, but we had 2 that year. And
oh, wow.
It cycles. I'm the farm girl in me. It cycles about every 10 years. We go from severe, and it'll start the weather cycle, and we'll have like a severe couple of winters, and then it'll start getting better, and then it'll come back around worse. And it's about every 10-year cycle. And that's something my daddy taught me as a little kid. And it really does. If you really look at it, it's about, a 10-year cycle where you go into an intense thing, and then it tapers off, and it's mild, and it comes back around, and you're intense again. It's been doing it forever. My dad told a story. He's from, up in Mayfield. And when he was a little boy, the house I grew up in, he goes, all this stuff about mild winters, bad winters. He goes, I can remember when I was a little boy sitting in the windowsill
of the upstairs bedroom on New Year's Eve because it was so warm outside. Just, it was very pleasant.
Yeah.
So he says it's just always cycled. But anyway, I'm off track. We got things to talk about.
That's okay.
I've got my commercials done, so we're good. We don't have to take a break.
Okay.
But they had the mayor and alderman meeting last night. Snowmageddon shut them down last week.
That's right.
And so y'all met last night. You got to everything. So I want you to cover that, but there's a couple of things I want to throw at you real quick. This is something that Billy gave me yesterday, not all the notes on there.
Okay.
But he said this is something, I forget what he said this is about. It's the revenue to help with broadband that the governor approved. That's that grant.
Yes.
That's what that's about. So maybe you can unpack that for us. And also, too, for people who live on Lawrence Lane, there's a posting on Lawrence Lane. And it's just kind of getting us ready for the construction that's going on. That's all it is. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's a public notice.
That's what I thought.
It's a public notice. So I'll tackle that one first. So public notice, we are inching closer to building the new wastewater treatment plant. For those that may be new, we currently have a 3.4 million gallon per day plant. We run about 2.5 to 2.7, so we've got some capacity left, but the plant is at its end of life. And of course, if we're going to handle the growth, wastewater treatment plants, 35 to 40 years, and the concrete starts breaking down with what those plants have to go through. So we've undertaken over the last 18 months a design and engineering for a new plant. We will double the size of the plant, double the capacity, not the size necessarily. In fact, the size doesn't change. The size of the actual visual aspect of it doesn't change. It's the capacity that changes. And we'll double that to about 7 million gallons per day, which will handle the growth for the very much foreseeable future, the growth that we know and the growth that we don't know, which should get us through the life of the next plant, which would be 40 years roughly. So that's exciting. That plant is, I think it was 83, so that plant's a little over 40 years old. It's outlived just a little bit and will by the time, because it'll be a 4-year. Not by the time we get construction going, it should be about a 20-month construction project. Okay. So we've got a couple of years left by the time we break ground, and so that plant will be 43 years old when it's decommissioned. So it's outlived, the life expectancy of a lot of plants. And when you can do that, you can do it, right? But it's time to upgrade. So that sign's gone up to let everybody know that there's been state funding that we've applied for the construction of a new wastewater plant. The broadband grant, we have applied for a broadband grant with the county. Actually applied on our behalf. The county applied on behalf of the city of Springfield because of the way the grant was set up, with county entities being eligible, but it's being certain. It was kind of a complicated eligibility criteria, but it's a broadband access grant, and we are going to we look forward to that. It's $100,000, and we're going to have some partnerships that we work on. We're going to try to provide, and so we're trying to finalize and make sure once the grant comes through that we can do these things. We want to provide Wi-Fi at Garner Street Park.
Oh, wonderful.
Wi-Fi access. We want to partner with the library to provide devices, because some people don't have if they don't have broadband, the little hotspots that you can
check them out.
Correct.
Yeah, you can check out hotspots.
As well as broadband awareness and literacy, digital literacy. That's another part of the grant, digital literacy. So we're looking at partnering also with some digital literacy training, maybe for senior citizens, for those that actually provide training on how to, because now, if you're a grandparent, you want to keep up with your grandkids, you got to do that on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. A lot of bills are paid online, a lot of things, plus there's a lot of internet crime. There are a lot of scams, and so digital literacy is something that matters. It matters even more. We even do it with our employees with cybersecurity training and how to spot those scams, how to spot those phishing attempts, and how to make sure our networks are protected and things like that. So we want to use that those funds that's available from the state. We figured, why not put them to use here for our citizens rather than it go somewhere else?
I love it. And Billy kind of talked a little bit about that yesterday, and so I told him I'd let you go ahead and address that and give us some particulars on exactly what those funds are going to be used for. And you're talking about the cyber crimes that happened. I had an email I got last night that looked completely legitimate, advising me that it's time to change your password. It's time to change your password on your email. No, it wasn't, because I signed into the account. I went to the website where I facilitate my personal, I have like a little personal account thing. No, and it looks so legit.
Yeah.
I thought that's got to be, for real.
It was not.
And it's not.
No, and they are so good at it.
They're good.
They're so good at it. Don't you have to, when you get an alert, go, if it's something that it's like one of your, like if I got an alert from the utility company saying pay my bill, I'm not going to respond to the email necessarily. I'm going to go to my account.
Correct.
From the website.
Don't click on the link in the email. Do not click on the link in the email.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
And those are the things that people, if they don't realize, that's how people get hacked.
That's right.
Oh, you just have no idea. And but you have to be so careful. So I think that's a wonderful way to use it.
We want to raise awareness for that. You know, there's the phishing attempts that come through your email. There's the phone calls that you get that say, "Hey, you missed jury duty," and if you don't go right now to Walmart and buy a $5,000 Visa Green Dot gift card and give me the number, then we're coming to arrest you. Well, that's
incredible.
You know, that scares people, and fear motivates people to act. And so just if you have a question over whether something's wrong with your voter registration or your jury duty or you didn't, your IRS or whatever, call the court clerk's office, call the election office, call the IRS and ask them about. Don't take the person's word for it that's on the phone. They're not coming to arrest you or that sort of thing. And certainly please don't go by, because here's the sad reality of that is once that money's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
That money's, by the time they give those, send that Western Union or those Visa Green Dot gift cards.
No recovery on it.
There's not. I mean, it's gone through so many different countries at that point, and they've got a pretty good network of how they filter that money, and there's no way to get that money back.
Yeah. So just be careful. I think that's a great use of it. I want to say Aaron Slate typically comes in on the fourth Wednesday. I've asked him to move to next week, and so we're working on getting him in, but he is chiming in. He just had to chime in on the whole Snowmageddon. He said he got out of the house, but his wife didn't leave the house for 11 days, and she's proud of it. I love it. There's a lot of people that just took that. Well, she's a young mama, got 2 kids. I don't blame her, man. I think I'd been staying home with my babies too. But talking with Ryan Martin, he is our city manager. They had their mayor and alderman meeting. They made it up last night from the snow cancellation they had last week. What else did you have going on? I appreciate you addressing my 2 questions.
Yeah, not a problem. First thing, and I gave the board an update last night, and I'll give your listeners an update this morning on where we are with the tornado recovery effort. The cost estimate now to the city that the city has incurred, not to residents and damage to private businesses and homes, but the city of Springfield incurred about $1.1 million worth of expense related to the tornado damage and recovery. For an example, I don't know if I shared with you last month, but we were burning through $100,000 a day just in crews to get electricity back on. We had crews that we paid to come in, or we reimbursed to come in and help us with that electric restoration effort. And fortunately, we had power back on. But $1.1 million. We do expect to be eligible for a partial reimbursement of that through FEMA, through a public assistance declaration that we expect to be included. I haven't heard that come out yet, but the team and director did share with me that we were included in that declaration, which would give 75% reimbursement from the federal government. So we can. And some of those costs also were insurable. We had damage to a fire station. We had damage to a substation. We had damage to a fire engine, and some of that's going to be insurable. And so, or some of that was insured, and so it'll be recoverable that way. So that's a little bit of update on our tornado recovery efforts. We had the SBA, the Small Business Administration, that was set up here. We were unfortunately only eligible for one type of aid through the SBA because we were omitted from a different type of declaration. That whole process, LaVern, with the SBA and FEMA and all of that is so complicated and convoluted.
Yes,
I had never, fortunately, we had not been through this, and so I haven't had to deal with that. But it's very convoluted. We'll be glad to try to help guide anybody that needs help. So feel free to call me, and we'll try to point you in the right direction with our contacts at SBA or FEMA and try to get you in the right direction.
If you don't see how efficient this city dealt with that, go drive through Mayfield. The amount of time that, we've still got we've still got crooked stoplights. I'm not kidding. Yeah, in some places. And just having watched what went on with Mayfield and seeing how efficiently and how, man, we're going to clean this up, I was just so impressed. So very well done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you. We had a lot of folks that put in a lot of time and effort, and the community support. I don't know if I was able to share that. The Fair Board let us commandeer their facility for a week and set up a command post down there, essentially.
Yeah.
We had so many just being out in the area where you had neighbors helping neighbors, right? You had so many things that were going on, and the community support from people that said, hey, we know you've got 150 people working on getting power restored, or, the debris cleaned up. Can we feed them? Yeah. Well, sure, Incredible. And so we had a lot of support. That was inspiring. Even it's a tragic time, but it was inspiring to see that, hey, humanity still exists. Amen. We're not told that on the news a lot of times, but it actually does. So moving on to the meeting last night. On second reading, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen passed our electric rate increase. It's a small increase on residential bills. It's $3.13 increase, and that TVA had ended a credit that affects our cost of electricity. We also have, proud to say, and still do even after the $3 increase, one of the lowest customer charges on our fixed portion of the bill in the Tennessee Valley and in Tennessee. So we're it's $3 a month, and I don't want to pay $3 more a month. No one wants to pay $3 more a month, but that's allowing us to keep up with paying for the cost of electricity. We don't want to not be able to pay for the electricity that we have to get from TVA that provides it to, our residences and our businesses. So, okay, so moving on to Black Patch Drive, second reading on the rezoning there for 61 new units. 35 of those will be single-family residences and 26 townhomes. That'll be on Black Patch Drive near the current development that I think Pedro Reyes is finishing up. So growth continues. I mean, we hit a lull in 2023 a little bit, but we've got this development coming. We just met with the group that's going to develop the Blackwood property out there going towards J. Travis Price Park. And so growth is going to continue. I think rates look like they're coming down, and we'll see the growth kick back up. I think we were it timed right in Springfield. I know that other places had some subdivisions that were still underway, and it timed it right where we had some subdivisions that were completed. So folks that were getting ready to start were kind of on the sidelines waiting to see what rates were going to do, what commercial lending was going to do, and what mortgage rates were going to do as well for their buyers. And so things look to be in a situation where dirt's about to be turned. And so we're going to see that growth kick back up. We've got had a little reprieve from it. We still had quite a few new residential building permits last year. We still triple what we issued in, say, 2015, 2016, but it wasn't as high as what we issued, say, in 2019, or 2021. So that's going to continue, and we're excited about managing that growth responsibly, but also we know that everyone wants a this or a that, and and the rooftops are what bring the thises and the that's, right? So that's the way that works. We also rezoned some property on Page Street. That was a first reading last night, from a mobile home park to R7, which is high-density residential. That'll go from, I believe, 9 mobile homes right now. The developer wants to take that property, or the owner wants to take that property from 9 mobile homes to 7 single-family lots. One of the exciting things last night that the board approved was a resolution authorizing our participation in the Tennessee Main Street program. Mm-hmm. There are some designated Tennessee Main Streets in Tennessee, and we desire to be one of those. We think we have a great historic downtown, and that program, that designation from the state comes along with some things like some facade grants and things like that you can do to kind of dress up and update. We have a great downtown, and why not make it better and celebrate it and apply and see if we can get a designated Tennessee Main Street. So
I love it.
That's pretty cool, and we've got a committee put together that has been working on that, and Ace Timmermeyer's leading that, and so she's doing a great job with the Main Street program there.
And I've heard some things that are coming up, and just wait. It's exciting. She's not talking about it yet, but it's going to be fun.
Got some
fun
things later in the summer and fall that sound exciting, and we'll also have some Freedom Fest announcements hopefully soon as far as what we're going to do with Freedom Fest as well. So stay tuned.
Here in a minute.
I know it's getting too close. So we're working on that as well. Those things are going on. We approved and are accepted 2 different grants from the state last night for the police department. One was for recruiting. It's a bonus program to try to recruit folks to get into law enforcement or to get back into law enforcement, folks that are certified and folks that are non-certified. And the other grant is to reimburse the city for training. And so, law enforcement is having a difficult time recruiting and retaining officers. It's just difficult. It's a difficult environment. It's a really tough market right now. And so the state has recognized that and is trying to provide some incentives to get people to get into that business.
Very good.
Very good. I love it. Brian Martin's with us, city manager. They had the mayor and alderman meeting last night. If you have any questions, just throw them up on social media. Keep going. Let's get through the meeting, and then I have a few things I'll share with you from some of our listeners. But go.
Okay, good. So we also accepted a donation from the Historic Springfield Event Coordinators. For those that don't know, that's the group that puts on First Friday Night Market.
Right.
We partner with them on the concert, and they do the market. They donated some jail alley upgrades. They're going to do some arches, some planters and seating there. And so
jail alley, it's fun.
Their whole purpose is the proceeds from the things that they do are reinvested into downtown. And there are a whole lot of examples. A lot of the things that you see that have happened downtown, that have dressed up downtown, are, including the banners, are Historic Springfield Event Coordinators donations. Christmas lights, they've done a lot for downtown, and that's their sole purpose is to help downtown.
Very good.
That was we were thankful for them last night and accepted that donation. We also had a presentation from our auditor on our fiscal year 23 audit was completed, and that report was given last night to the board. We had no findings, which means, what does that mean? That means we're doing the right things with taxpayer and ratepayer money and being compliant with state law and managing things responsibly. So kudos to our finance staff and to our department heads that make sure that the ducks are in a row, so to speak, with our finances. We're also very fiscally healthy, and we're very fortunate right now, and a lot of that is due to the growth, but we're a fiscally healthy city. Our debt has decreased, and our cash reserves have increased. And what does that mean? That means we're paying less, debt payments and interest, and we're using more cash to buy things rather than borrow. Now, we'll be needing to borrow soon when we do facilities. When we talk about facilities and wastewater treatment plants and things like that, we don't have $70 million sitting in the bank, but I wish.
Yeah.
But for general yearly items, we're not borrowing for a lot of equipment or things like that. We're able to pay cash for those things, and that lowers our debt burden, and that try to be more fiscally responsible. Finally, I want to update everybody on the skate park. We broke ground on the skate park a few weeks ago. That skate park is still on target to be opened in February, even with the rain and the snow and the ice. I saw a picture yesterday. They had a tarp put over it, and they were pouring concrete, so they were protecting it. They are determined to get finished with this thing. So we're excited about opening a skate park sometime in the next few weeks, and we'll keep everybody updated on that.
It's going to be cool. I don't skate, but I know a lot of people who do, and they're just over the moon excited.
Absolutely.
So very cool. Awesome. Yep. If you have any other comments, we've got just a couple of minutes. I have a couple of things I want to throw out. My father's house. What is the status of my father's house as far as the being able to take people in and all that? I know they had a special consideration. I want to get Charlene in and get an update, but what is the situation with my father's house?
My father's house, when they had a situation come up where they were non-compliant, the property wasn't zoned, and they had a neighbor that had complained about that.
Right.
Okay. And so the neighbor kind of turned them in, and we worked with them, went out and met with them step by step, tried to walk them through the process of what needed to happen. And we got the property rezoned. We actually tried, and I don't want to say anything like we were doing anything, say something to imply that we're doing something shady, but we wanted to interpret the rules to their advantage, right?
Sure.
And so we tried to classify them under the code as an I, which is an institution. Try to classify it as like an adult daycare. What that means is they wouldn't have to be sprinkled, right?
Okay, they wouldn't have to have a
sprinkler system. Yes. Right. The state fire marshal's office governs those institutions and disagreed and classified them as an R, which treats them more like a hotel, and then required a sprinkler system. So we lost that interpretation, but they've been working with the state fire marshal's office. That was in September. I'm not sure where the delay was, but last I heard that they had a set of plans drawn. That's what the state fire marshal needed, but they did give them an exception during the extreme cold, I think, to operate. And I know there's been a lot out there, a lot of shots taken at the city about my father's house. And I want to tell anybody and everybody that doesn't know the truth that the city of Springfield has worked hand in hand with my father's house since the very beginning. And particularly, I personally was involved in the very early stages of my father's house before these group of people ever were involved on 10th Avenue. when the ministry first began. And so we have tried to work with My Father's House, and because that is a ministry that is needed in this community for those that are homeless by circumstance. And they do a lot of great work, and so we have tried our very best to support them. And been a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of folks that don't know, the truth. And I've got quite a bit of nasty comments and nasty emails.
I'm so sorry.
But that's part of what happens. And but that's okay. We know that what we're doing, we're trying to help them, and we don't have jurisdiction over the sprinkler system, and there's nothing we can do with that.
So, well, I appreciate you addressing that, and I'm sorry I didn't kind of open that up for you and let you know we were going to talk about that.
Oh, that's fine.
One other question: there's been just seems like there's several questions about litter issues. It seems like we're seeing more litter out there. Is there going to be a cleanup day? Where are we going with that?
There will be. So, unfortunately, people are still littering, and that's problematic, and we will be planning the cleanup day. It's usually around Earth Day, so I expect it to be. I don't want to announce a date yet because we're finalizing some things there, but it'll most likely be on Saturday, April the 20th, which is Earth Day, I believe, is on the 22nd. Okay. So we're planning that. We're going to do that again and try to round up as many volunteers as possible. Hopefully we'll be able to do free breakfast again and have supplies donated from TVA and some other entities and some sponsors that come alongside and help us do that, and we'll clean up our community.
Well, and the one thing too, they said, has there been any kind of an initiative to say, let's have a better penalty so people stop doing it? Is there anything like that that's on the table? Maybe increasing the penalty or something when it comes to litter?
So I'll share this.
These are all listener questions that I got via Messenger.
I'll share this very briefly that city court, because and this applies to something like littering, it applies to a lot of other city ordinance violations. Mm-hmm. The maximum penalty allowed at city court is $50. Okay. And that's in the Constitution, the state Constitution. Oh, okay. So that is a very, very, very antiquated number. Now, state law allows greater penalties when you state crimes, but for city ordinance violations, $50. And that, I can't remember the year, but it's 18 something. So $50 was a lot in the 1800s. Yeah. It's not as much now. One of the situations we ran into is we would cite people for not mowing their yard, and it would cost them $50 for us to mow it. We could, because that's the penalty, right? So they could get us to mow their yard for $50 fine.
Oh my goodness!
Cheaper than they can pay somebody to do it.
Oh my goodness!
Anyway, just a little
the stuff you have to deal with in the position. God bless you. And Charlene chimed in and said thank you to the city for all that you've done to help My Father's House.
Thank you.
And so she's in support of what they're doing. So we'll get Charlene. Charlene, I want to put the bug in your ear if we can get you in maybe next week to come in and just kind of update us on My Father's House. And it's time for Lee Marie to come on in here. Bless her heart. She's the one that got snowed in. And so I was going to have her come in and maybe fill in for me a little bit on my day off and give me a little break. Thank you, Ryan. But she got snowed in. She is out and she's free. So she's going to come on in here and share with you. They've got Spanish classes going on at the library. Wonderful stuff. And they all say, I need to go. Yes, I know, because I go to Mexico all the time. Oh, I know. We've got so many cool things at the library. She's going to talk more about that. So stand by. She is up next with The Go Show. This is 1100 WSTI. God bless. Have a great day.